What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the right side of the map in the red color, playing as Hades. His name is Domantas. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Hades as well. His name is Punkstar. The map is Tropical Mirage. The map is Tropical Mirage, ladies and gentlemen. This is a relatively old map. I say relatively old in a loose term because obviously the general maps we normally play on are as old as 20 years. However, this map is maybe about 10 years old. Maybe I'm overestimating its age there. But this is called Tropical Mirage. It is a very, very open map with a lot of hunt and very, very defensive but forward-placed town centers. So they're incredible. They're defensive in the fact that that there's lots of nice trees that spawn around the town centers, and also that there's always going to be a pack of hunt that is really, really close to this to your town center as well. So the second town centers are really good on this map. The other fact is that gold mines, they're relatively aggressively spawned as well. We do see a kind of side back gold mine over here, and we've kind of got a gold mine behind a town center here as well. So gold mines here relatively difficult to, but relatively easy, I should say, to secure if you get the town center up. Now, the other thing to take into account here is that this is a Hades mirror. Now, Hades mirrors, they can be very dry, very defensive, very boring. However, on a map like this, on a map like what's it called? What's this map called, guys? Tropical Mirage, where town centers are really far forward, really fast spawn forward, and also you can get spawns, and we do see this, of 2 hippopotamus. It is possible to do an advance time as fast as 3:48 here on this map, especially with, look at this, especially with like a storehouse and a straggler savanna tree next to it. And what does this mean? Why am I talking about crazy fast advances like 3:45, 3:48, or 4:02 even in the Hades mirror? Well, if your opponent goes for a 5-second town center, the fastest you can really put that up and be able to defend it is a 4:30 advance. Maybe a 4:16 advance, you might be able to get out Ajax and Chiron and get the town center up. I actually don't think it's possible anymore. I thought it was, but after doing some testing, I don't think you quite have the resources to get everything else out. It'll probably be a villager and then Chiron, or Ajax, villager, Chiron, so it's still going to be around about the same time the Chiron comes out. Anyways, the point is, if you get up that fast and your opponent goes for the 4:30 advance, you can deny the town center. The town center will not be able to get up, and you will have a full advantage over your opponent moving forward in the game, and the game can become incredibly firework induced. And this is possibly something that the meta is not quite caught up to. It's a fairly recent strategy. Not that the Athena Hippocon is a recent strategy, but aggressive Athena Hippocon, fast advancing Athena Hippocon is a very, very recent strategy. And if you go for it and you stop the town center and your opponent goes for the town center, you will win. So that means that if you're in these situations where that's possible, it's probably going to be time for both Hades players to actually start thinking about Athena Hippocon as their standard, or at least maybe trying to think about, well, I know my opponent's going to go for this. I have to think about how I'm going to counter his Athena Hippocon instead of just a straight 5-second town center. Now, that all being said, it looks like we've got 5-second town centers coming out for both players here. Domantas has got possibly a cleaner second town center coming through than Punkstar with 6 villages on gold. Punkstar's only got 4 villages on gold here, so we'll have to wait and see exactly what's going to happen as he does bring the favor villager over here for built the temple onto this location. But you can see it's a little bit low on the gold. Actually, both players are a little bit low on their gold moving forward, but with Domantas having an extra villager here, he might be able to get that one out. fairly soon, as we do see Domantas' Ajax coming forward trying to take out a villager here. And honestly, Domantas is more than happy here to just shank villagers. He doesn't even look like he's going for a kill. He's just going for some chip damage, preventing them from actually gathering resources here. Domantas just about to get himself the resources for the town center, pulling the villagers off of the gold mine there and moving them up to grab this town center up on this position. Very, very nice play here at the start of the game here for Domantas. We do see that Punkstar has picked up, though, the Ankh of Ra, an extra 2.4 free favor a minute. That's value, in all honesty. 2.4 favor is roughly equal to about 24 resources a minute, which is going to be a big help for him if he ends up using favor in this game. As we do see the villagers now making their way over onto this town center, going to be getting their own second town center up a little bit behind Domantas, but we are looking like the game is headed into a more boomy kind of game. That being said, Punkstar going for the defense, the defensive town center, the further back town center here means that Domantas has an opportunity here to go full send in the classical age, secure this gold mine, this gold mine, this gold mine, this gold mine, secure this town center, potentially get a gold staff here. And look at this, Domantas uncovers the Anvil of Hephaestus but misses it. This is a huge relic to grab in this matchup because Anvil of Hephaestus plus Forge of Olympus is absolutely huge in terms of your ability to afford those iron upgrades. Sometimes when you go for Hephaestus, that the iron upgrades are a little bit more difficult to afford, and this relic just makes it so cheap, so absurdly cheap here. As the Chiron to be searching around the map, well, actually grabs the relic, probably can just go and drop that back into the temple now if he so chooses. Archery range coming down for Domantas here. Surprised to see an archery range first here instead of the stable, which Punkstar is going for. This is much more standard because the Hippocon give value in terms of like raid, in terms of pressure and all that other stuff. But I guess there's not really a whole lot of stuff that Domantas really wants to attack, or he just wants to defend here. Double archery range means that Domantas is going to be able to rush Heroic Age, rush Mythic Age much faster than, say, Punkstar, who's going to be building himself a Hippocon and an Archery and a Toxotes. So Domantas is kind of maybe Domantas is thinking about this gold staff situation already, in that he can go for a faster Heroic Age and potentially click Curse and get maybe some counter cavalry units out with the Prodromus in order to try and get a gold staff here, or even go in with like mass Nemean lines, another option, or even just rushing the Mythic Age and then going for that gold staff is also another option, as the Minotaur here getting chased down by the Chiron, showing how strong Chiron can be in the early game against those slow, beefy myth units that are normally incredibly difficult to deal with. As Domantas pulls back, we do see this giraffe just about to finish up. There's some hyena up there, not going to be that much useful, not that useful. Some gazelle over here, not going to be the easiest to move over onto those. Domantas could push over here and grab these giraffe here. There's giraffes over here. There's gazelle over here. There's plenty of resources on this map, but it's all resources that are quite far away. So you do need to kind of control those positions really nicely as well. But we'll see how things are all going to shape up here in this game, as the house coming up over here for Domantas is at 64 of 80 population, a slight advantage in terms of villages. Nothing too substantial though. But the big question here, and this is the big thing that separates the really best Greek players from Greek players like me, who aren't like that great in the boom war, is they know exactly where to put their villagers to get exactly what they need to find fast advances, find all the units out, put the pressure on the right places, all of this stuff. Very, very difficult to do. And we're seeing that coming through from Domantas and Punkstar actually at this point very nicely, though. Looks like Domantas is slowly starting to take the population edge here. Whether or not his army is any better than Punkstar's, though, remains to be seen. With a couple more Hippocon here, it might be advantage Punkstar in all honesties, even though Domantas has got the population advantage. The other thing you have to worry about, which is maybe a small worry, as the Chiron is just being a little bit of an annoyance here, as now we see a Hippocon and Chiron of Domantas coming through here to defend, is that if you get to full population here in this matchup, that's really, really bad. You don't want to be you don't want to get to 130 population on 2 town centers in this matchup. You want to be sitting a little bit below there, continuing to get villages out. You want to get to full villages first before, you basically just want to get to full villages is your main aim here. So anytime you're sitting at 99% villages here is really, really bad. Domantas kind of knows that, and he's getting his houses shot up really fast here. Punkstar on the other side of the map here, or matchup here, is doing is really nicely keeping himself not housed. Floating a little bit of food here compared to Domantas floating a little bit of wood here, as I'm sure the farms are going to start coming down. This is something that I don't like seeing. I've seen this quite a bit. This is something that happens quite a bit here in Asian mythology, and I do think that it's a bit of we'll step back here. So there is this thing called the farm transition. It's this thing that the top players talk about, and it separates the good players from the bad players, all this, or the good players from the okay players, all this stuff. But what ended up happening with the farm transition as players kind of got better is they just started slowly putting farms down. But there is a way that you can play around it, and you float. And I think the way to do it, and I haven't quite tested it, but I think the idea is instead of putting these farms down now, you float wood like Domantas is currently doing, and you just put the villages all onto the goats, eat all of your goats first, and then throw all your farms down, spending all of that all that wood you've kind of banked. As the villagers do come into the town center, getting pushed off. Nice raid from Punkstar as Domantas trying to push through, does take down that Minotaur. Anyways, and the reason why you do that is that it's just faster. You get more food from earlier by eating those goats, whereas these, what is this, like 6 villagers eating these goats, it doesn't even matter. You're not going to see an advantage from having 6 villagers on goats kind of at all. It's going to be so minute that it just doesn't matter. As we do see the Katoskopos here from Domantas, 1 HP Katoskopos bravely scouting out the town center. Maybe he knows that there's gold over here getting mined. Maybe he doesn't. I like that Punkstar's made the effort to get onto that gold mine early here. But here's the thing. Punkstar's got to be really, really careful moving forward. Domantas, he's at 60 villages here, which means 6 villages more for Punkstar is 6 population, which is potentially 3 extra units. And Domantas, he can push in and just hold this position. If he does that, this advantage, which I think is very, very well played by Punkstar, is 100% Punkstar advantage moving forward. As long as he doesn't take a bad fight, he just continues to play nicely. He does have a lot of gold in the bank. He's gone for this 3rd town center as well to boot. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to see how things are going to go here. As Punkstar jumps onto this town center here. Villagers coming forward. Domantas spots that. He's got the Katoskopos here. He's got the Hippocon moving in. We also see Domantas getting this town center up first. He gets it up way earlier than Punkstar. And not only that, Domantas can also go to the heroic age here straight away. And that's what he's doing. He's clicked up through Apollo. Honestly surprised to see Apollo here. I would have thought that an Aphrodite would have been the way to play it with the bad gold mines that Punkstar has got. But obviously, Apollo is always going to be a good choice here in this matchup. As we see Punkstar now, he is going to get this town center up. Domantas, realizing he spent a lot of resources on Apollo here, doesn't want to quite commit, would rather just get the tech advantage, pull back, and make something happen here. As Punkstar now just about to get up to 80 villages, he's in a really, really good position, but whether or not he knows he's in a good position or not, that remains to be seen. Given, like, you just never know. You can kind of work it out by selecting how many units your opponent has on the map or how many units they've got. You can kind of select that and see, well, if that's his full population there, 24, 5, 6, plus that, you could probably say he's probably got about, 60 population there. So 60 take 145. That's maybe 80. He's probably got about 80 villages. That would be what I would think. So Domantas, Punkstar here probably thinks that that he's not actually in front on villager count right now, even though he's on 80. He probably thinks that Domantas is also on 80 villages here and there's no advantage to be had. But actually, there is, and he just needs to retreat back and enjoy everything else. But Punkstar here decides to go Aphrodite instead of Apollo. We'll see if this is going to be a good choice or not for Punkstar. It's really, really interesting because Aphrodite gives the better late game, but Apollo gives a near impossible attack opportunity for Domantas. So we'll see how it's all going to go. But Domantas is basically about to advance through to the Mythic Age. He's got the resources to do so. Somehow, even though Punkstar has got more villages, he's just not able to keep up with Domantas' economy. Domantas' economy is absolutely booming out of control here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at these upgrades. He doesn't quite have irrigation, but they're so good. Punkstar, on the other hand, very similarly upgraded units here. Quarry coming through. Hephaestus coming through for Domantas here as well. In an incredibly strong position. There's the Hippocon moving forward. Heavy cavalry coming through for Punkstar. Irrigation also coming through for Punkstar as well. But he is not pushing for this Mythic Age. And the thing is that Hephaestus, every second that Hephaestus comes through is worth around about... every second that Hephaestus comes through before your opponent's Hephaestus is around about worth 10 resources. So if you go for a minute... Wait, is that right? Yeah. Every second, yeah. So if you go for a minute in front of your opponent, that's like 600 resources advantage going Hephaestus first. If you go for 2 minutes, going for a 1,200 resources advantage. So just getting to the Mythic Age here, if you're going to go through Hephaestus, very important to get there immediately. As we see huge... That curse is brutal. He hits the pigs there, gets a bit of a path block action there as Punkstar is finding a huge advantage moving forward. This gold mine on the back here for Domantas still has 2,700 gold left in it. But... if Punkstar can simply just control the map here, put fortresses down on all the different gold mines, he's got 3 different gold mines he needs to secure, he could definitely find an advantage moving forward. And he is around about a minute behind Domantas in terms of Mythic Age here. So it's going to be a slight advantage or a pretty decent advantage for Domantas actually moving forward. Domantas already has his fortress up as well. And we actually also have to remember that Anvil of Hephaestus came through for Domantas. So he's going to get this Forge of Olympus at a cheaper cost, 270 gold. But then he's also going to get all of his upgrades at another cheaper cost here. So that's going to be kind of gigantic moving forward as the Domantas Hippocon coming through to try and take out the archery ranges and everything else. And we'll see how things are going to go. The giraffe over here getting cleaned up. Domantas has to get those villagers kind of sorted out here, and he does manage to do that fairly quickly there. As the villagers retreating away from that fortress, one going down. Punkstar wanting to throw up this one over here as soon as he can. The army of Punkstar is incredibly out of position here, but it is going to find a little bit of damage onto these villagers here as Forge of Olympus comes through. Fortified town centers comes through as well. And we'll have to wait and see for Domantas what kind of cost those upgrades start looking at now with Forge of Olympus and Anvil of Hephaestus. As the Colossus pushing through onto this position, Domantas, he has found himself a decent timing here to get this attack in. With this Colossus attacking over here, we still haven't seen Domantas getting his upgrades here. He's kind of losing that one out. 72 food, 72 gold. Have you seen anything cheaper in your life? Getting all of his upgrades in very fast. 108 wood, 72 gold for bronze shields is absolutely insane. Restoration getting dropped down there by Punkstar. Restoration coming down now for Domantas as well. Restoration being used second is always the better option, as you're going to keep your units alive much easier than your opponent is. We'll see how things are going to go here. Domantas has got, doesn't quite have bronze shields through, but he does have the copper shields, which gives him a little bit of an advantage over those heavy toxoids, actually nullifying the damage increase or nullifying the HP increase, I should probably refer to it as. And then with the heavy toxoids coming through, he's able to be in a good position. Punkstar, on the other hand, gets a really early champion cavalry here. We'll see how that's going to go. It's Heliopolis starting to come in to this fight as well. And Domantas here, he will find an advantage if he can continue to get his upgrades in. He needs to get up to iron first, and then he needs to hit like an underworld timing. And that should be a a way to win. So Punkstar has to play around that. He has to be sure that he's got something around these town centers on the back, that they can't just be an underworld getting dropped here to take out this town center, and there's plenty of ult and go full advantage Domantas here. So we'll see if he's going to be able to play around that. Continue to put pressure on is always a way to go. Punkstar actually getting himself bronze weapons, bronze mail before Domantas here even has. So that's huge for Punkstar, as Domantas has to retreat back. As the Toxotes come over here. I wonder what wins this fight. Pretty sure Hoplites win this fight. Because even though Toxotes technically counter Hoplites, the Hoplites do more DPS and have more HP than the Toxotes. The reason they counter them is because they're ranged. Obviously, if you're attacking someone and your opponent is not attacking you back, then you win, right? Now we see bronze weapons, bronze mail, iron shields coming through for Domantas here. How much does iron shields cost? It just looks so little. Under 200 resources for a Mythic Age upgrade just looks like dirt cheap. Now Domantas is actually already started trade. So this is probably just a little bit more experience kind of factor from Domantas, realizing that this game is probably not going to be decided anytime soon, and starting the trade route basically just gives more and more resources over to Domantas moving forward. And the earlier you start that trade route, the more advantage you get, basically. So he's finding that really, really nicely here as he tries to push through iron weapons. The last one to check out, it's got to be iron weapons. 216. Compared over to Punkstar's 240. So it is a significant advantage here. As Domantas retreats back. This Heliopoli staying alive ever so slightly here, but is going to be getting taken down very quickly by those champion Hippocon. As Domantas pulls back, getting all of his economic upgrades together and everything looking mighty fine and dandy as the trade route getting closer and closer to that kind of 20-25 donkey caravan limit that you wanted at. Now, the big thing that Punkstar has right now is because Domantas has got 15 donkey caravans, Punkstar has got 15 population extra to play with. But he will be running out of gold and he will have to get the trade route at some point. So he has to kind of figure out how to find an advantage here moving forward. And whether or not he can actually do that or not remains to be seen. As in the Hades Mirror, you do get a very, very... You find yourself in very difficult positions, in all honesty. Heliopoli, Toxotes. There is no real way to push through each of these players here at this point. Hippocon as well. And it just kind of becomes a little bit of a slog fest here. And now we see Domantas' Pegasus coming through. He's been waiting for this moment all his life. The other thing is that because Domantas went Apollo, he will be able to get this Sunray upgrade. Both players at this point 11.05 damage per second on the Toxotes. But after Sunray comes in, it's going to be possibly like 11.5 versus 11.05. So the DPS for those Toxotes start becoming a little bit more for Domantas. Now, with the Pegasus coming through here, one thing that Domantas is going to want to do is actually remove those Toxotes, trade them in for either Hoplites, Siege, or Colossus, and then hit the underworld. Otherwise, life is going to be very, very tough. As the Toxotes still just trading each other in the middle. More Heliopoli coming through. Where'd that Pegasus go? Did he get taken out? Oh, he lost the Pegasus. Well, now we have to wait even longer. Now we see... Oh, look at this. Look at this. We got Punkstar coming in. He's utilizing that extra population right now in these Gastrophetes while able to hold on this front. you can start pushing the town center down with the Gastrophetes. We've also got some shades coming in. Domantas not paying attention at all as Punkstar is going to be able to take this town center down. Domantas still hasn't noticed it. It's just four Gastrophetes, and that's a dead town center. It's absolutely huge here for Punkstar. And the question is just going to be, can he maintain this defense over here and prevent this town center from coming back up? This is absolutely huge. Now it's so much extra population for Punkstar as these Toxotes are going to be getting taken down. But look at this, Punkstar kind of struggling a little bit for gold at this point here. He's running out of gold. No, so 4,000 gold remaining over here, but he's just struggling a tiny incy bit here. Needs to get back up to 160 pop. He's at 160 pop. Turn around, fight this, continue putting pressure over your towers, whatever you want over on this position. Plenty of resources in the bank right now for Punkstar to claim this game here. He's got to just send some villagers forward and commit to this, because right now, what is Domantas doing but pushing in onto this town center? It looks like he's going for it, but there's still a whole bunch of defenses here for Punkstar, especially Hades Shades, Hippocon, everything else moving forward. We will be seeing the Heliopoli going down here very, very shortly as well. Just wondering what this big blob of red is. It's just beautifully built farms by Domantas. As it looks like Domantas has to push back. We see the villagers, the Toxotes, excuse me, coming over here. A whole bunch of villagers moving in to drop the fortress down. It's vitally important for Domantas to secure this location back up. And it looks like those Gastrophetes of Punkstar haven't quite come through here just yet. Raiding onto the Donkey Caravan route over here as Punkstar has set up a side build on this position beautifully here as well. As the tower's coming down for Domantas, this many villagers shoots the town center up really, really fast. There are the Gastrophetes just sitting in this inside this pyramid, hiding away. It's absolutely hilarious. As the Heliopoli continuing to push through onto this fortress over here, doing what they can do. Punkstar going to be retreating back ever so slightly here. But it looks like Domantas gets his town center back and Punkstar chokes it there. Well, I mean, Domantas holds, I guess, is probably the better perspective to look at. But Punkstar definitely should have put more of an effort into getting towers set up, putting his army over here, preventing that town center from going up. Those Gastrophetes could have snuck around over here, maybe a box or something get built over here for the Gastrophete to sit in to keep that town center from going back up. But right now, Punkstar back up to 17 Donkey Caravans. He's in a good position. Domantas also in a good position. Coinage coming through here as well. But look, Domantas is 11.7 damage per second Toxotes. Might end up being something very, very helpful for him here. As we see the Pegasus coming through yet again. As now, look at this. We're starting to see a lot more siege showing up for Domantas. He's getting ready to drop that underworld on this position over here. The market in this position here, trading from here to here or something. That's a bit of a weird one, but it's kind of how it's all going on. As I guess Domantas kind of needs to secure this town center before he goes for the underworld, because Punkstar can kind of, if all of these units retreat back in underworld now, if Punkstar is ready for it, which he kind of is with these archery ranges, he can just start spamming out Gastrophetes here and push forward. But look at this, the Pegasus moves forward. Underworld going to be getting clicked very, very shortly as the Pegasus is waiting. There's the Underworld passage. The army pushing through. 3 Heliopoli plus all of the army coming through, plus a Colossus. How many hoplites are here? He's got 7 hoplites onto this town center at this point here, as the town center is going to get taken down incredibly fast. There is Architects here. What is Punkstar going to be doing? Punkstar decides to turn around in favor of trying to defend this town center instead of pushing forward the repairing onto the town center, going up as fast as it can, but it's just not that quick. Guard tower coming down over here as well as the Chiron coming out to try and take down that Colossus, but it is too little too late. One guard tower up is going to be a difficult one to deal with, and Punkstar just about to come back over here with his army, but 159 of 140 population. The trade route also moving through this location is a very scary fact as well. And Looks like the car is going to be going down as well. And I don't think the Domantas is going to be giving up on this position anytime soon. More guard towers coming down. Punkstar now has to figure out how does he find any sort of way back into this game. Potentially, well, you can't push through here because there's double fortress, but he does still have this position over here. So if you could set up something, some sort of Petropolis thing, walls get set up, Petropolis through here, he might be able to find his way in. Punkstar trying to rebuild this town center as the units pushing through here as fast as he possibly can. More towers coming up at this point as well. Engineers and guard towers coming through for Punkstar, but it seems too little too late. More watch towers coming down, guard towers to be coming down on the back here for Punkstar to try and hold on to this position as Domantas here still pushing forward. Here he's going to be losing his Heliopolis, but Domantas could also use this position to take advantage of this palm tree here. A walls here and a Petropolis, that's in range of that fortified town center, so he could be taking down the town center as well there. As Domantas' underworld passage starting to get targeted down here. We've got a 1 HP Heliopoli getting a lot of damage done onto an underworld passage there, but Domantas hasn't noticed it, and that's some huge value there, as it looks like Punkstar has managed to delete that underworld passage, but now he has to clean up all of these buildings that are over there as well, while I'm sure Domantas is going to continue putting pressure onto the front here, as this stone wall going to be getting taken down here as well. Domantas tries to break that down as fast as he possibly can. It looks like it will be getting goes down so fast. Those Heliopolis are so absurdly strong. This town center is getting incredibly close to falling. Punkstar's economy is in absolute shambles right now. 41 villages, 16 donkey caravans. Town center goes down over there. These towers still holding this position, but the town center is back up for Punkstar. He's back up to 2 town centers, but now Domantas can simply march villages forward and start spamming towers up, Petropolis here, and this is going to be very difficult. What's happening down here? We do see an attempt from Punkstar to push through here, trying to take out the guard tower. We still haven't seen any sort of Petropolis or anything here for Punkstar to break through, as the hoplite coming in onto this position to try and slowly take out the Heliopolis, but I don't think the Domantas town center is going to fall anytime soon here, as more siege towers just rolling through for Domantas. There isn't really a good counter to Heliopolis hoplites. Apart from Heliopolis hoplites, you could argue maybe you want to get some Prodromus out to sneak in, but those die really, really fast. Prodromus have a bonus against siege towers, but in reality, you just want to keep going yourself into hoplites and siege towers. And if you've got the same, oh, look at this, we've got a cheeky temple up the back here for Domantas to try and take out this town center as well. But it looks like this town center here for Domantas has been held onto, and now all of the efforts are going to be going in to this middle location here. And I don't know what else Punkstar can do to hold on. He's about to lose this fortress. Does he have another fortress somewhere else? No, he does not. So that's going to be no more Heliopoli to be built for Punkstar moving forward. And more Heliopoli just going to roll in. We see Domantas doing the tower push as well. You always want to start a little bit behind on the tower, just because your opponent's going to be able to pick off your villages a little bit too easily, pick off the towers as well, and your push is just going to get stunted. So I love the kind of slightly back instead of like right on the town center here, just to grab this position. Hand of Talos also coming through for Domantas as he's trying to get these units out, getting some Gastrophenes, a fortress coming down in the corner as well. And Punkstar in the 29th minute, 56th second of this game decides to tap out. GG, well played by Domantas. Incredibly well played, in all honesty. I do think that this game was as meta as it could be, but apart from Punkstar not going Apollo, but the map really allowed for some much more creative play here. And I'm a little bit upset that we didn't see that. Hades players, it's a kind of a weird type of player that plays Hades nowadays. So Hades is arguably the best god right now, in my opinion, because you basically need to not die and then you win. That's the way to play Hades at the moment. But Hades also has this other bag, which is really strong. This is a classical age kind of aggressive play, very similar to Zeus classical age aggressive play that we don't normally see all too much. But in this map, with the forward gold mines of Punkstar, Domantas, even with a back gold mine that is very open to, very susceptible to raids, and the fact that all the town centers are forward here, definitely meant we could have had some more fireworks in this game. But unfortunately, didn't see it. We got the Boom War for the first game. This is the second round of the qualifiers here, Punkstar versus Domantas. So it's a best of 5. So we'll be checking those games out in the coming moments. If you guys enjoyed it, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next game.